was handed out. And for GT, when your time comes up, can you tell us a little bit about what happened in Syria today?
So I'm happy to answer that question. When I received the questionnaire, it's really difficult with yes/no answers. These are heavy, weighty questions. These are questions that demand a conversation because I haven't walked in your shoes, you haven't walked in my shoes, and I'm certainly not going to judge a single person sitting in this room based on one word, and I would hope that you don't do the same for me. I think the fact that we choose our politicians based on one word and sound bites is why we've ended up with a government that doesn't function. I was looking forward to having the conversation, which we're doing tonight, and I'm happy to have a conversation about each and every one of those questions this evening. But we're doing a discredit to all of us to list one-word answers. I'm certain, I don't know how many, is this a 1 minute or is this a 2 minute? We take 2 minutes, I don't know where I am. One of the things I'm certain most of you in the room are eager to know is my position on choice. It's on the top of the list, right? It's a very important, crucial issue. And I can tell you this. If I had my way, if I could control the world, we would never have a need for it, it would never happen, we would never have another abortion. I think anyone who pretends that it's something anybody walks into with glee or not serious reservation is mistaken. But I also recognize that the poverty that I see, we have a lot of families that can't afford to feed other children. They don't have access to birth control. They have a difficulty to manage the size of their families. The lowest rate of abortion we saw in the United States in recent history since Roe was in the last 6 years of the Clinton administration. It had nothing to do with President Clinton. It had to do with the economy. The economy was booming. People had money in their pockets. They could afford to send their kids to school. They could afford to feed another family. And you know what else was low? Was the rate of children that qualified for free or reduced lunch. When our economy is good, we solve that symptom. Abortion, personally, is a symptom of an underlying problem. I believe they need to be safe, they need to be legal, they need to be rare, because if they're illegal, they happen in the shadows, and women die. And I can't fathom that that's what any of us wish to have happen. Thank you.
After conferring with the moderator, I'll answer the question regarding the survey, and then if there's another question on Syria, it's very timely and very appropriate. Maybe we can both respond to. I think what I just heard my opponent say is, if you're a living human being, and we can't feed you, it's okay to kill you. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I believe in the sanctity of human life, and I believe that we shouldn't kill humans, born or unborn. And I'm proud to be pro-life. I think it's important to put out there what we are and up front. That's why I answered all the questions. Now, how do I make my decisions on questionnaires like that, and how do I make my decisions in Washington? Well, I follow what I call principle-based leadership. I think that's best. If you stand on principles and you define your principles ahead of time, well, then it's pretty easy to stand the wins and the challenges when the party or pressure or special interest are with you. And for me, it really comes down to my principles are what is my duty to God? What is my duty to is a decision I'm making righteous according to God's word, according to my faith? What is my duty to country in terms of what does the Constitution have to say about the decision I'm about to make? Tell me, there's been some tough decisions I've had to make that I knew the popular decision was this, but the Constitution says this. What is my duty to others? And that's why I work so hard getting around the district and having conversations. I meet with everybody, whether they agree or disagree. I value the input. And finally, is what is my duty to self? And that means that I've done my homework. I've worked hard in terms of making sure that I'm prepared to make use those first three criteria, those first three principles, leadership-based principles: God, country, duty to others,